Making of a marketing plan. This is, in fact, one of the hardest of topics for every student, and even more so for people working in the industry. But the funny thing is, the things involved in the marketing plan are so straightforward and easy. There's no rocket science involved, but somehow or the other, we fail to put it all together and create a cohesive marketing plan. There we end up having some problems. So this video is arranged in a manner so that to clear some doubts with regard to what people have with the marketing plans, and then preparing marketing plans, and then try to find out a way to do it easier. Now take a look at this. Now all that needs it is bit of writing, a document, few papers, up to 100 sentences. That will come up to something like about maybe 700-800 words, maybe up to 1,000 words. So average marketing plan does not have to be several thousand words, and yes, it has very basic steps, very few basic steps. And if we kind of get those things basic clearly, it would not be that difficult to create a marketing plan. The problem that most of us find is actually we start writing the plan from one end to the other rather than trying to do pieces separately and then try to combine it. If we take a look at here, let's say the current state, SMART, targets, STP, we'll be learning it. So these are separate actions. If we start doing them separately, and then at the end only if we kind of piece the things together, we'll have a marketing plan automatically. So anyway, there are 5 areas basically: situation analysis, tactics at the bottom, and the budget should be there in a marketing plan, SMART objectives, and of course the target audience. So let's move on to the next step. So this is literally the introduction. So whenever we have the marketing plan, the initial 2 or 3 paragraphs should be set to introduce what the marketing plan is about. Not exactly the marketing plan, but about the market. The plan should be set to propose some product to be sold or increased in selling. So here we basically introduce the market and tell why is it important, and give some hints with regard to the opportunities that we have in the market. So this introduction is a must, and it should be it's completely alright to spend about 100-200 words on it, maybe a couple of paragraphs on it. This is just setting the scene aspect of it, and that's the first step in situation analysis. And thereafter only we get into this part, the SWOT, the PESTEL, the competitor analysis, and the Porter's 5. Each one, SWOT, PESTEL, competitor analysis, and the Porter's 5, we could easily do under 100 words each without overdoing it. SWOT, of course, there are internal and the external factors. It's better to, so a lot of people put it into a graph and add it up, or even writing is fine, but always it's better to make up an opinion and give reasons for it also, even though if it may take some words out of you. But 3 points per SWOT is enough, right? Without overdoing it. And the PESTEL, 2 pieces are enough, 2 keys each, because there's a lot to write. So altogether that might mean up to how many sentences? Something like around 15-20 sentences. Again, try to explain it. And PESTEL, it's better to measure the impact as well, whether it's positive or otherwise. And here, and whether that impact is low or intermediate, or rather medium or high. You may go for SWOT in this manner, author created one, of course, without taking from online. It should be an author created one, maybe 2 points each, maximum 3 points would go. PESTEL, we can't put it into a box, perhaps we have to write down the line in an article format. 2 points each maximum would do, and give reasons also, and measure it please. And then the other one, the Porter's 5. this is not a must to talk about the Porter's 5, but it will add marks for you, or it will add value to your marketing plan, because here you are assessing the competition, right? Assessing the external market forces rather than the external factors, from the suppliers to the industry, right, to the newcomers, to the customers. Again, 2 points would do, if possible 3 points, but again measure it, whether it's plus or minus, whether it's low, medium or high. And this is a competitor analysis. How do you do that? It's better to use SWOT on couple of your competitors, not all of them. It's good to apply SWOT there, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, on the competitor also, and see whether you can create a tiny perceptual map depending on your assessment of where the competitor is, or your assessment of on which part of the market the competitor occupies. This is what you call as a perceptual map. You can do bit of learning from online, so you can put anything of your preference on these margins, lines. Here I've connected from online. It's kind of premium product quality. Here the ordinary product quality. On the horizontal line you have the premium user status and the low user status. Some of the brands have been put here. I've just copied it from online, not something created out of me. So these things will make up what you call situation analysis. Porter's 5 is not a must, right? Must is SWOT and the pestle, and of course a competitor analysis. Many people avoid competitor analysis by mistake. They think that the SWOT and pestle is enough and the introduction is enough before that, but they don't think about the competitor analysis, which is an essential part. And how do you analyze the competitor? By applying SWOT on some of the selected competitors. It's perfectly alright to use 100 words each. So situation analysis, you might be able to take up to 400-500 words. I think it's alright. And then the next one, SMART objectives. Now you know the market, you identified the plus minus SWOT, internal and the external factors, you studied the competitors. So now it's up to you to set objectives. Maybe 3 objectives would be nice. Even 1 objective is fine, but 3 would do good. 1 for the short term, maybe 2 for the mid term. I don't think it's of any use going for a longer term strategic objectives, because typical marketing plan is for a shorter duration, because the markets change fast, right? You can't realistically set up a plan to last for 3-4 years. Long term is 3 years down the road. So 1 tactical objective, 2 operational objectives would do. And remember this, marketing is not about sales. So there's a lot to do before the sales begin. So your objectives shall cover those things as well, not the sales. And when you set objectives, make sure they are SMART: specific, measurable, realistic, relevant, achievable. That should be there. I've added up an example of an objective, how it should be. This is exactly not very perfect, because typical objective should begin with word to, and an action word should follow, a verb should follow. So look at here, by the end of the year we will increase our search results page position from 12th to the top 3 for our main brand related keywords to drive more organic traffic. This also leads to our pages through keyword and content optimization. This is very SMART: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and time bound. But there's a tiny issue on top. It would have been better the first sentence to go as to increase our search results page position from 12 to the top 3 by the end of this year would be nicer, because ideally an objective, when you write, it should begin with 2 and immediately thereafter come up with an action word or a verb. That's a better way to do it. But remember, the rest is right on it. Objective should be very well written with very specific details about it. Do not be careless about objectives. And then moving on, again, now this is the unfinished part of the introduction. Now in the introduction we talked a bit about the market and the opportunities and the chances and all that. So finish it up here, talking about the same topic again, but with some detail, with some evidence. evidence we can find from online, maybe the population, maybe the numbers, maybe the facts and figures about the numbers, finances, sales, right? It's all right to spend about 2-3 paragraphs on this, right? Finishing up on what you began at the introduction, that's about introducing the market. So the introduction is on introducing the market. So here finish it up, giving more statistics and more depth into the particular study. And yes, in this particular writing that you do with regard to the target market, give us an indication whether it's a mass market you're going for, we call it undifferentiated market, or a selected segments, give reasons, differentiated segments, or maybe even a niche market. So this is where you explain it out. Give an explanation about the market, the strengths and the way and the qualities about it, and then come up with a suggestion. Is it worthwhile to go for the entirety of the market or otherwise? Right? And thereafter, we come to probably the most crucial part of our presentation in the market planning. We call it segmentation, targeting, positioning. Segmentation is about total understanding of the market. This is already done by you. No need to do it again then, because in the target part here, this is what you did. This part. Alright? So there's no need to do it here, no need to replicate it, no need to duplicate it. You can move on with targeting. How do you identify few segments and why is it so? And then, yes, how do you plan to be better than the competitors in that particular selected segments? So segmentation, targeting, positioning is a must. Now segmentation would have been already done in the targeting section. So what you have to do is targeting and positioning. Mind you, when you identify particular segments, it's always safe to create a customer persona like this. Identify the common characteristics of this particular segment and then create a personality, a hypothetical personality, about interests, motivations, challenges and all. So fill it up by studying the entire segment. So rather than looking at a segment, it's safer, it's easier, it's more convenient for us, it's practical for us also, right, to look at a personality that has all the characteristics of that particular segment. This is called customer personas. It's normally done in marketing. So you can create one or two these avatars or customer personas. So this is technically Starbucks customer persona. See, coffee expert, different characteristics. The trendy lot, age different, habits different, status opportunists, age different, other things are different, right? The job they do is different. Value filterers, so different ways. So this kind of segmentation, and these are the segments that the product will be going for. Starbucks, I took it from Starbucks, and create a personality for each of them. Would be easier for the marketer to identify the habits, traits, the likes, dislikes, fashions, passions about this particular personality, who is a representation of the particular segment. So it's easy to plan when you have a persona set. Again, revisit to what the segmentation is about. This is just an explanation, right? So basically you identify all the segments there, right, in the marketplace, and then identify one or two, maybe one, two is better, right, rather than 3 or 4 segments. It's easy for the market planner. Of those segments that we identified here, we pick up the better ones, the best ones for the market, the product, and then figure out how we kind of reach out to them in product positioning. So segmentation is about knowing all the segments. Targeting is about identifying few of them, 1 or 2 of them, not more please, 1, 2 is enough. And then positioning is about figuring out a strategy, a tactical setup to be better than the competition in that particular targeted segments. Okay, how do we do that? For that only we need a media plan. That means we have to work with multiple media channels, right? Some of them will be online, some of them could be offline. And then always add up a media plan, right? So through our research, we can identify the type of social media or other media preferred by the couple of segments that we are selecting, and then yes, we can set up some plan, a strategy, grow the brand, turn the customers into advocates, drive the leads and sales. So you can't immediately make a person buy, right? So you have to nurture the market, you have to introduce a brand to the market. So you have to do a step by step approach. See, creating awareness, creating engagement, conversions, consumers. Mind you, people, these can be objectives as well, right? So creating consumer is not always every objective. To reach to this level, you need one or two or maybe more short-term to mid-term objectives. You can't convert an outsider into a consumer without an effort in marketing. And then what are these key performance indicators? How far, how much? You can mention that. So let's move into the 7 P's thereafter. We have to go into the 7 P's now. Now we've identified the market, we've identified the SWOT pestle and the competitive analysis, and we go on for the Porter's 5 if we have enough room, and then set the objectives, and then evaluated more about the target market, and then segmentation, targeting and positioning. Now what are we going to do? Our tactical approach, short-term and the mid-term approach. We're going to put one after the other: product, price, place, promotion, people, process, physical evidence. Again, do not overdo. Maybe 3 sentences would do, maybe as little as possible, right? So maybe within something like up to 30 sentences perhaps, you should be able to finish it up. A clear cut description of each one, and do a bit of a study on what 7 P's is about, and put some extra effort on people, process and the physical evidence part, right? And remember, our game plan must be tactical and operational. Do not go for a long-term strategy here. Marketing is never for long-term strategies. It's always for next 6 months, maybe next year, maximum 2. Again, when you give an idea, tell us why and how it applies also. Maybe 3 sentences would be enough. That would be followed up by, yes, if we have enough room, a bit of a tactical plan. Now, let's say 7 P's literally doesn't talk about the tactical angle, right? Technically, the product, price, place, promotion may talk a little bit about the tactics, but others doesn't, right? So, but this is about exactly how we want to reach out the market. Short term to operation, tactical operation we call it, right? How are you going to do it? So one thing is here. Remember, when you set the objectives, 1 or 2 of the objectives should be at this stage, reaching and acting. Conversion of the customer could be the 3rd objective, but before that there should be objectives that we guide the customer towards the conversion. Conversion means making that person buy our product. It doesn't automatically happen unless we funnel the customer carefully into deciding to buying our product. So plan carefully. So 2 of the objectives should be there, right? That should be the case. And then let's go for an explanation about what it is. Build awareness on other sites on offline media and drive to web presences. You can create some key performance indicators on it and engage in the audience. Then only purchasing may happen. Conversion takes time, so your only objective cannot be conversion. Go into other aspects also, right? The increasing awareness, increasing the percentage of engagement, that should be there. And then of course the creating of the loyalty, that may be for the long term. So all that should be there. And finally, you can think about ANSOF. ANSOF means what kind of a strategy you go for. Existing market, existing product, that would be market penetration. New market, existing product, that could be market development, and then the product development and diversification. Here also 2 sentences would do. Pick up one strategy or maybe maximum 2 strategies. That would do. Here also the same, right? What particular act 1 you're going to do, what particular act 2 you're going to do. So make sure that the action that you tactics you set up help achieve what you set in the objectives. That connection should be there. The tactics of reaching a particular goal should be matching what you have set in the objectives. And that's what the teacher would be checking, right? And then a very important part, key performance indicators. Now we've set a strategy, yes, that means reaching those objectives. Then you set up a plan of actions also, right? Tactical and operational actions. Then how are we going to find out whether these actions are being done properly, whether we are reaching the target properly? There we have to go set key performance indicators, like here, percentages, numbers, right? By this end of 3 months we should be having this much of visitors. By the end of 3 months we should be having this much of page views. That's how the marketing plan is done. By most of the marketing does happen in the digital realm. Every product is now mostly marketed online, right? So you also, when you do your marketing plan, focusing on online would be of help. Remember, the conversion is the last of the objectives. It cannot be your first objective. Set 2 objectives which are staying here, and state some very good key performance indicators or numbers, percentages, right? And always mention the channels you're going to use and give reasons to the channels. This also should be part of what positioning, or maybe better put in the tactics, isn't it? See, so how do you identify KPIs for the FBI? Maybe the link clicks, video views, social shares, impressions, reach, right? So mention them. Tell how much of a percentage you're going to achieve. Then it's a key performance indicator to see whether we have set our tactic correct. So you have to mention the particular social media you're going to use or other offline channels you're going to use, and please tell why. Where are you going to say these things? You have to set it in your tactical strategy. We are in the tactical level here. Let me go back here. When you set it up here, tell what the key performance indicators are, what's the percentage you plan to go. That's the thing. And then the final thing, budget. A budget, sometimes the marketing plan may be asked not to produce, but ideally a budget should be planned. Budget should be planned in thousands of words, dollars or thousands of rupees. It should look like something as simple as this. It doesn't have to be as elaborate and complex as this one. That's why I showed you here. You don't have to go into this end. This is good for a marketing student's marketing plan, marketing budget. This is a good one. Activities, last year, this year maybe, or this year, next year, and then the relevant comments should be there. Take a good look at it. Put the round numbers, and this should be in the hundreds of thousands right here, and put it at the bottom of it. Thousands of dollars, right? Sectorize it carefully. This is for the research, this is for the events, this is for the in-store, and that's for advertising or channels. Make sure of that. Then the very last of it, executive summary, that comes to the top of your marketing plan, not at the bottom. And then the conclusion that comes at the end of the marketing plan. Recommendations are not exactly necessary because you set your strategy, right? So, and the actions are also set now, so no need to set recommendations, not a must. So remember, these two are rather interrelated. Most of the students make a mistake here. Their executive summary looks like the conclusion. That is a mistake. Let me start by telling what a conclusion is. Conclusion is basically a briefing about what you have already written. That you can talk about the identified market, identified segments. Then you can talk about how you're going to position. You're going to mention the tactics you're going to use, and then you can talk about the key performance indicators, and that's it. You can do a conclusion in about 5 or 6 sentences. That's enough. Executive summary, mind you, should be written deeper. That's technically what you have planned in this particular marketing plan, carefully explained out. You can say, the author has set this particular marketing plan with the view to achieving the objectives of this, and this. And in order to achieve these objectives, the following plan has been envisaged, following plan has been proposed. That means selecting these segments and then, having a marketing strategy across multiple platforms. So executive summary should be maybe at least 100 words. Conclusion can easily be done in about 20-30 words. Right? Conclusion means briefly tell essential parts of your marketing plan. Executive summary is about what this marketing plan has been for, what the very purpose of the marketing plan has been. That is it. So combine it all, you can have a marketing plan which is a perfect. And the trick is to prepare them separately, not writing from one end to the other. Never do that. Write them separately. Then you have maybe 6-7 sheets of paper on the table, or maybe 6-7 Word documents on your laptop. Then try to put it together. Then try to fix it together. You will automatically have a marketing plan. You did never write a marketing plan. Marketing plan is automatically developed when you focus on separate sections. Catch you in another lesson.